I've killed over 160 jihadists with my sniper rifle. My name is Chris Kyle, a former Navy SEAL sniper. I first stepped onto the perilous soils of Iraq as a part of the US invasion in 2003, becoming a part of an elite brotherhood. I was much more than a soldier. I was a protector. My primary role as a sniper was to safeguard my fellow comrades from the looming threats that hung in the distance. My skill with the rifle was not just remarkable, but it was lethal. It didn't take long for the enemy to recognize me, and the Iraqi insurgents soon bestowed upon me a name that echoed fear and respect. They called me the Legend. Throughout my tenure in the chaotic landscapes of Iraq, I found myself ensnared in situations that were fraught with deadly danger. But through each deployment, my confirmed kill count grew, exceeding 160. This wasn't just a number. It cemented my place in the annals of American military history, as the most prolific sniper to have ever served. However, in 2009, I found a new purpose. Leaving the Navy SEALs behind, I resolved to aid wounded veterans, intending to alleviate their pain and help them reconcile with their war-torn past. I was determined to help them forget the emotional and physical scars that war had inflicted upon them. Tragically, my life was abruptly and painfully halted on the 2nd of February, 2013. On what should have been a routine day at a Texas shooting range, I was shot dead by a mentally distressed former Marine. My life story may have ended then, but my legacy continues to reverberate through the annals of military history, and thanks to the movie dedicated to me.
A woman drowned in a pool full of people and then her body sat at the bottom for 2 days. Marie Joseph was a 36-year-old mom who went out for a day at the pool with a few of her adult friends. She collided with a 9-year-old boy while going down a slide and hit her head, sinking beneath the surface. The infuriating thing is that this 9-year-old boy knew that something was wrong, and he went to 2 separate lifeguards, one of which said that they were on a break so they couldn't do anything, and the other lifeguard said that they would check in a few minutes. Clearly, no one ever followed up on this, and her body sat decomposing at the bottom of that nasty-ass pool for 2 days. And you might be wondering how it was able to sit at the bottom of this crowded public pool for so long without being noticed. Due to the heavy summer use and a broken filter, the water in this pool was extremely cloudy. Marie's friends noticed that she wasn't around anymore, and they assumed that she had just left the pool without telling them. But little did they know, when they left the pool, they were actually leaving Marie beneath the surface. And if that's not scary enough, to add to the creepiness factor, her body was discovered when its gases caused it to float up to the surface to surprise some people that had snuck into the pool after hours for a late night swim. And of course, in the falling out from this, her family sued everyone involved and several people were fired.
David Reimer was a Canadian man born male but raised as a girl after a medical accident during infancy left him with severe genital damage. He underwent a sex reassignment procedure. Under the guidance of psychologist Dr. John Money, David was raised as a girl named Brenda, in an effort to support the belief that gender identity is primarily influenced by social factors. However, as David grew older, it became apparent that his experience contradicted this theory. Despite the efforts to mold him into a female identity, he experienced significant distress and did not identify as a girl. At the age of 14, David's parents shared the truth about his past, including his biological sex, and he made the decision to transition back to living as a male. This pivotal choice underscored the significance of biological factors in shaping one's gender identity and challenged the notion that upbringing alone determines gender. David's case shed light on the struggles faced by individuals with gender dysphoria and the complexities involved in understanding and supporting their journeys. Tragically, David Reimer encountered ongoing challenges and mental health issues throughout his life. In 2004, at the age of 38, he died by suicide.
This is what happened to 8-year-old Cherish Periwinkle and how she was taken from a Walmart by this man. Cherish was born on December 24th, 2004 in Jacksonville, Florida to her mother Rain Periwinkle and her father Billy Giroux. Everyone says that Cherish was a happy child and that she always had a smile on her face. She wanted to be just like her mother Rain when she grew up, and she would even wear Rain's clothes, her heels, play with her makeup, everything. She recently learned how to ride a bike without her training wheels, and she was just like every other kid. You know, she wanted to be happy, she wanted to live life and just be with her family. Now, as for her parents were not together. Billy lived in California with a new wife, and Rain lived in Florida with Cherish. At the time, Rain had a boyfriend, and she actually gave birth to 2 little girls. So now Cherish had 2 new half-sisters. On June 21st, 2013, 8-year-old Cherish Periwinkle was getting ready to fly to California to go visit her dad Billy for the summer. She was packing her bags, washing her hair, and that's when she decided that she wanted to go get some new clothes for the trip. Rain agreed to go shopping, and her boyfriend gave her $100, and this $100 was supposed to be used to buy the girls new clothes, to buy food, to buy household items, and then there was supposed to be money left over to take Cherish to the airport tomorrow and pay for a taxi. So they were on a budget, and they decided to go to the dollar store to do the shopping. Now, at the time, Rain didn't have a car, but the dollar store was only 20 minutes away walking, so she decided to walk there with Cherish and the 2 other girls. Now, at the dollar store, she wanted to buy one of her daughters this black dress, but she didn't know if she would have enough money to buy it. So she was in the checkout line trying to figure out how to buy this dress, and that's when she was approached by a 59-year-old man named Donald Smith. Donald came up to her and said, "If you want the dress, I'll buy it for you." At first, Rain was kind of creeped out by this man because she had seen him in the store earlier. When she was in the shoe section trying on shoes, she noticed that this man was just standing there watching her. So she figured that maybe this man was gonna rob her, and she was a little bit nervous when he approached her, but then he calmed her down and said that he also had little ones of his own and that she had her hands full and that he just wanted to help her. He also told her that his wife was on the way to give him a $150 gift card to Walmart and that if she wanted it, she could use it. After learning that he had a wife and that he also had little ones, she began to trust him. She felt like he wasn't going to rob her and that this was just an old, sweet man that wanted to help her out. So she agreed to take the gift card. They all walked outside to the Dollar Tree parking lot and just waited for Donald's wife to come by. While they were waiting, it started to rain. Now again, Rain doesn't have her own car, so she was kind of thinking, how am I going to get back home in the rain with 3 young children? And on top of that, the wife was taking forever to get there, and Rain kept asking Donald, "Where's your wife?" Donald would just tell her, "Don't worry, she's on her way, she's going to be here soon." However, once it started to rain, Donald told Rain, "Why don't I drive you to Walmart and my wife can meet us there?" And he was driving this white van that looked really suspicious, and Rain just didn't know what to do. And Donald could tell that she was worried about this, so he said, "Listen, you can trust me. Here's my driver's license. Look at my information. Like, you're gonna be fine." And because of that, Rain decided to trust him, and she got in the van with her 3 young children. As for the van, there were blinds on the windows, there was no middle seat, and the front passenger seat was pushed all the way down. Okay, more in part 2. This is part 2 on what happened to 8-year-old Cherish Periwinkle and how she was taken from a Walmart by this man. So they all get inside the van and they start driving to Walmart, which is about 10 minutes away, and as they're driving, Donald asks Rain how old she is and how old her children are. Tells him their age, and then she asks Donald, "Where's your wife? Like, are you sure she's meeting us at Walmart?" And he says, "Yes, don't worry, she'll be there soon." 10 minutes later, they make it to the Walmart, and Rain starts shopping. Now remember, she thinks that she's getting $150 from Donald's wife, so she just starts adding things to the cart. Now while she's shopping, Cherish and the girls are kind of playing around, and Donald is just standing there watching them. He wasn't really shopping for himself, but at one point, he did end up adding something to the cart that Rain had. And what he added was rope. That was it, just some rope. They continue shopping, and at one point, Donald asks Rain if he can take Cherish to the dressing room, and Rain agrees. She agrees to let this man that she does not know take her 8-year-old little girl to the dressing room by themselves. So Donald and Cherish go to the dressing room, and he brings Cherish these really high heels. These heels were obviously for a grown woman, and Cherish wanted to try them on, but that's when Rain saw that he was giving her these heels, and she said no, that these heels were inappropriate and that she wouldn't even wear these type of heels herself. After that, they continue shopping, and Donald takes Cherish to the dressing room once again. At this point, Donald's wife has still not shown up. Rain starts to get worried about this, so she asks Donald, "Where's your wife? Like, is she actually coming?" And once again, Donald calms her down and says, "Yes, she will be here soon." 10:25 p.m. rolls around, and that's when Walmart makes an announcement saying that they're going to be closing soon. At this point, Rain realizes that it's getting late and that she hasn't fed her daughter's dinner yet. There was a McDonald's inside the Walmart, and Donald sees this and tells Rain, "Why don't we just eat McDonald's? It's inside the store, it's cheap, and the kids will love it." He even tells Rain, "I'll go with Cherish to get the McDonald's McDonald's while you continue shopping, and then we'll all meet up and eat together. And Rain agrees to this plan. She lets Donald go with her 8-year-old daughter to McDonald's. Now granted, the McDonald's was inside the store, so it's not like they had to physically leave, but still, she let this man just walk off with her daughter by themselves. Cherish and Donald start walking in the direction of the McDonald's, but instead of going inside, they just walk past it. You can see them on footage, leaving the Walmart and getting inside Donald's white van. 20 minutes later, Rain is ready to check out, but she realizes that Donald and Cherish are still not back, and remember, he's supposed to give her the $150 gift card. So she starts looking for Donald and Cherish, but they're nowhere to be found. She heads over to the McDonald's area and sees that the McDonald's was actually closed. That means that Donald and Cherish never made it there. Runs out to the parking lot and she asks someone to call 911. Police put out the word that they're looking for a white van, and the next day at 9 a.m., this white van is spotted driving along the highway. Police pull it over, and in the driver's seat is Donald Smith. However, Cherish is nowhere to be found. Now, Donald's lower half was soaking wet, so they figured that maybe he left her body in a body of water. And they were right. 8-year-old Cherish's body was found underwater, weighted down by bricks and debris under a tree in a creek. She had been brutally R-worded and strangled with a rope, presumably the same rope that Donald had bought. In the end, Donald Smith was sentenced to death. During the trial, it was revealed that Donald was a convicted sex offender and had crimes dating all the way back to the 70s. He also tried to blame Cherish for her death and said, "Oh, well, she followed me to the van. I had to kill her." What he did is truly disturbing, and he never even had a wife in the first place. As for the mother, Rain, a lot of people blame her for what happened to her 8-year-old daughter. They blame her for being too trusting and for letting Donald go to the changing room with Cherish and for letting her walk away by themselves. This is just such a heartbreaking case, and my thoughts and prayers go out to Cherish his family. Please be careful who you let around your kids, and you can just never be too trusting.
I swear, I love you more than you imagine.
This is the story of Jamia Janae Harris, aged 23, a young mother who was fatally shot by two strangers for saying no to one of them. It was later discovered that one of the two strangers was a basketball star player at the University of Alabama. Darius Miles and Michael Lynn Davis were somehow trying to flirt with Jamia when things got out of hands because she had rejected their advances, leading to one of the two men handing the gun to the other to shoot the victim.
Of the basketball team, who's also a DC native, along with a Maryland man, are both charged with capital murder.
This case will be taking us to the city of Birmingham, Alabama. The largest city in Alabama, Birmingham is a beautiful historic destination offering an array of exciting things to see and do, from museums and historic landmarks to sports, theater, and great restaurants. Jamia Janae Harris, aged 23, was a young mother to a 5-year-old son named Kane. Jamia was a graduate of Winona High School and worked overnights at Amazon. Jamia was said to be a loving young lady who had a promising future ahead of her. She was described as a nice, sweet, playful person who made a lot of people smile. Her mother said she was a hard-working mother who got up every day to take care of her son. Jamia had decided to visit her cousin, who was a student of University of Alabama. She decided to drive down there with her long-time boyfriend. Sometimes after they arrived, Jamia, her boyfriend and her cousin got hungry and decided to get food from a local restaurant. Jamia and her cousin sat in front of the car while her boyfriend was in the back seat. Two men approached the car and started trying to talk to Jamia. Her cousin recalled they were moving around the car trying to get their attention. The girls kept telling them, "We got a boyfriend, we don't want to talk," but they won't take no for an answer. They kept going on and eventually her boyfriend in the back seat rolled down the window, and he told them that they should let the girls be, especially having been told they have boyfriends. Then one of the men said, "You don't know who I am, you don't know what I do, I smack people." That did not faze Jamia's boyfriend. He kept telling them to leave, but they kept repeating the words, "You don't know who I am, you don't know what I do, I smack people." Her boyfriend eventually told the ladies he wasn't feeling comfortable and decided it was time to leave the scene, but they were still waiting on their food to be delivered, so they didn't leave immediately. When they finally decided to leave, they couldn't. The two young men had blocked them in with a car, and one of them approached their car with a gun in his hands, not knowing Jamia's boyfriend had a gun as well. Gunfire followed and bullets were flying everywhere. While one of the two men was fleeing, he pointed the gun towards the car where Jamia and her cousin was in, thereby striking Jamia. Jamia's boyfriend was able to maneuver the car away from the scene and drove until he saw a police car, which he flagged down. Tuscaloosa Police and University of Alabama Police were dispatched to the Walk of Champions at Bryant-Denny Stadium at approximately 1:45 a.m. on Sunday. Upon their arrival, the driver of the vehicle told authorities that the suspects had fired shots into his car, killing Jamia. Jamia was pronounced dead on the scene. The boyfriend told police that he returned fire and believed he had struck one of the men. After speaking with witnesses and viewing video surveillance, police were able to develop and locate suspects, one of which had indeed been struck by gunfire and had non-life-threatening injuries. Darius Miles, the University of Alabama basketball star, was arrested while his mother was present. He was heard sobbing and professing his love for his mother.
I swear, I love you more than you imagine.
The other suspect, Michael Lynn Davis, was also arrested without incident, and they were both charged with the murder of Jamia Harris.
UA student Darius Miles was arrested over the weekend. Michael Davis was also arrested, having no connection with the school. Both Miles and Davis are being held without bond on capital murder charges.
A 23-year-old mother from Birmingham who was enjoying life in Tuscaloosa alongside her cousin and her boyfriend. Today, her family still in shock.
Only on WVTM 13, our Rick Carley sits down with Jamia's mother and stepfather, who are trying to come to grips with this tragic loss.
How can a 23-year-old friend, a mother, a daughter, be gone so soon? Jamia Harris's mother and stepfather have no answers. Just a day after they lost her, they want the world to know about their princess, Jamia.
I don't want her story to get lost. I don't want her to get lost as just a name in a newspaper. I want people to know who she was and that she was a good person. She really was. She was a good person and she didn't deserve it.
DeCarla Hurd and her husband Kelvin wished Jamia well on Saturday as she headed to Tuscaloosa with her boyfriend and cousin. In the early hours of Sunday, Jamia was gone.
It's just a dagger through everybody's heart.
DeCarla knew years ago her daughter was going to be something, from being a cheer dancer at Winona High School to way back in preschool when she named herself Princess Jamia.
Everything that she did, they followed behind her.
leader.
A leader.
That leader grew to be the mother of a 5-year-old son named Kane, a son she leaves just as she was teaching him to master his holiday gift.
She was just now starting to get him to teach him how to ride a bike. He got his first bike this Christmas with training wheels. She was just now starting to teach him how to ride his bike.
And the most heartbreaking thing ever, the young boy still doesn't know that he's lost his mama.
That sweet boy, I just don't know how we're going to have to find the strength to tell him. And he's starting to look around for his mother. And
you just don't know how to tell.
A 23-year-old mother is gone. And now, DeCarla and Kelvin are fighting the fight.
I will fight for justice for this senseless act from both suspects.
Not
involved.
just for her, but for her son as well. They need to know that she wasn't just a random person. She was a mother. She had a child at home waiting on her.
That son and the entire family wishing that a beautiful life never had to leave.
Like I said, she was just full of life. She had so much life to live. And it's just hard. It's hard to think that we won't have it again.
Princess Jamia was everything. Friend, mother, daughter, and more.
She was 23, but that was my baby, and I was still raising my baby to make her a good mother, you know. Yeah. So I'll never be the same person again.
Police said it appears that the shooting was the results of a minor argument between the suspects and the victims after they encountered each other on the strip.
At this time, it appears that the only motive to this was a minor altercation that these individuals had with the victim as they were out on the strip.
Darius Miles and Michael Lynn Davis was charged with capital murder. University of Alabama men's basketball head coach Nate Oates said in a news conference Monday that the weekend's events are really a tragedy all around.
Let's go now to our Jake Stanzo, who is live in Tuscaloosa. Jake, head coach Nate Oates addressing the reporters today and talking about this tragedy.
Yeah, I've got 3 daughters. Went through my mind how easily could have been one of mine. Tough situation. Talked to Darius's mother multiple times yesterday. Very hard situation on both accounts. So, just continue to pray for Jamia and her family, although I didn't know them, but they're certainly in our thoughts and prayers, and continuing to pray for Darius's situation too. It's just an unfortunate incident that I wish we weren't having to deal with today.
The university issued a statement saying Miles is no longer a member of the basketball team.
Both men had their first day in court and they have been held in jail without no bond. This are the copies of the paperwork confirming that Darius and his friend were arrested. As seen on the paperwork, they were both charged with the highest possible offense, which is capital murder. We do hope Jamia receives the justice she deserves. Our sincere condolences to the friends and families of Jamia Harris. May Jamia's memory be a blessing for her family and for all who knew her, and may her life and death be an inspiration and a turning point towards justice and increased protection for domestic abuse survivors. Please stay safe and
Fox tonight, what started as a welfare check has now turned into a homicide investigation near Wilsonville.
It comes after the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office says a woman's body was found on a property off of Southwest Stafford Road. And that's where we find Fox 12's Chandler Watkins live tonight after speaking with people nearby. Chandler?
Yeah, some were raising questions about whether this recent homicide had anything to do with the other homicides of 6 women who have been found across the Portland metro area. Speaking with the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office, they can't say at this time if that's the case, but this is still a very active and open investigation and are asking for the public's help tonight.
We use Stafford Road a lot, and they had it blocked off yesterday. And so making people go rerouted. So it definitely, we knew there was something, large happening there.
Aaron Harris and his family recently moved off Southwest Stafford from Portland.
We thought, it would be nice to have kind of a slower paced life. And then something like this happens that you would expect maybe in a bigger city and not so much in a smaller one.
On Monday, Clackamas County deputies blocked off a section of Southwest Stafford for several hours in front of this home. After what initially came in as a welfare check, a woman's body was found on the property, which police say was vacant and in the process of being sold. Following an autopsy, investigators say the cause of death appears to be homicidal violence. Now, authorities are asking anyone with information about potential suspicious activity in the area in the days leading up to July 10th to contact the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office.
Shocking, for sure. You never think it's going to happen close to home. Home's kind of your sanctuary where you feel safe, and when something like that, it rattles you a little bit.
As investigators search for answers, neighbors are left with many questions.
And I think the community isn't going to feel great about this until there is answers. We know there's a process that's going to have to be played out, and so we'll be patient, but the sooner the better. You know, I think it'll make us feel safer as residents in the area.
The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office is not releasing the name of the victim at this time. And as this is an ongoing investigation, we'll continue to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more. Reporting in Clackamas County, Chandler Watkins, Fox 12 Oregon.